Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Pi for those that don't know, and I'm going to be reviewing Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 2. Before I get started, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe. Should be a button either down this side or this side. I'm not sure which one it is. But if you can do that, that'll be great. And let's go ahead and get into the episode. So the episode starts out with the guys are in the living quarters and they are on Matthew's neck. They are trying to figure out who Matthew is into because Matthew is super quiet. Like all he does is kind of keep to himself and he reads his books and he's just like really, really quiet, which I mean is not surprising. Matthew's weird. So anyways, so we see the first couple in the pod is Jeremy and Laura. And when he walks through the door, he literally calls her someone else's name. He calls her Sarah Ann. And she's like, oh my God. And he tries to play it off, but no, baby. I think he wanted it to be Sarah Ann, especially because we see him in the pods with Sarah Ann next, and he tells her that he just called Laura. Well, he didn't tell who it was, but he said, I just called someone else your name. And she's like, oh my God. But the crazy part about it is when Laura and um, what is his name? Jeremy were in the pods. Um, After she left out of the pod, she went back into the women's living quarters and was like, oh my God, y'all, he like literally just called me somebody else's name and Sarah Ann was sitting right there. So yeah, she knows. So anyways, Jeremy and Laura, they're having, a nice conversation. It's like a good vibe. And Jeremy is like really a jokester. Like he's just cracking all these jokes. And for me personally, it was just a little bit too much. I don't be with all that joking like that. So next we see Jeremy in the pods with Sarah Ann, and he's talking about their future, like how their future would look if they were together. And he said that like as far as living together and stuff like that. And she says, well, I rent my house and I'm renting an apartment and he's renting a house. And so he says, well, I think it'd be a great idea if whoever I decide to marry, we buy a house together. That way it's not mine, it's not yours, it's ours together. You're not moving in with me, I'm not moving in with you, so to speak. So I was like, I like that idea. That's really cool. And I like them together. Like they have a really good chemistry. And from the little bit that we've seen, I do like Jeremy and Sarah Ann more than Jeremy and Laura. So next we see Amy and Johnny. And to me, Amy and Johnny is probably like the most stable couple that we have seen so far. Usually when this happens, there's going to be drama later. There's usually going to be a little drama later. So Amy, she asks him when his birthday is, and he says, oh, when is his birthday? And he says it's in December, and she says she's a Leo. And then she asks him like specifically when is his birthday, and I think he says like the 10th or the 11th, something like that. It's a couple of weeks before Christmas, so she was like, oh, that's pretty cool because your birthday isn't so close to Christmas. And he was like, yeah, I always liked it because I still got my gift for Christmas and my birthday. And I know a lot of people out there whose birthdays are in December can definitely understand how that can go sometimes. Parents like to put your gifts together and like, baby, I need two separate gifts, okay? Luckily for me, I'm a Leo, so I don't have to worry about all that. I'm like, Amy, I'm a Leo, baby. I don't know what month she was born in, though. I don't think she said. So anyways, so she was like, yeah, my family heavily celebrated Three Kings, which is something I've never heard of. And then he started singing this Three Kings song And the crazy part is, I'm like, this song sounds familiar, but I don't know the words. But it definitely sounds like I heard it at school, in elementary, or something. I don't know, but the song sounds really, really familiar, but I did not know the words. But anyway, so then she gets into something a little bit more heavier. She starts talking about like one of her biggest fears is her little brother. And her little brother has autism. And she says right now her father has custody, but if anything was to happen, she would be next in line to get, have custody of her brother. And she wants to make sure the person that she marries is going to be okay with being, with her being the sole caretaker. And she wouldn't want to be married to someone who would have a problem with that, or, try to make her feel some type of way, because now she has to take care of her younger brother, and he's so important to her. And Johnny was really good and really sweet. He was like, no, I totally understand it. He did say something to the effect like, if you would have told me that, like, a week or so ago, I guess like if they weren't in this experiment and they haven't gotten so close, he probably would have brushed her off. But he was like, the connection that we have and how much that I like you, I definitely would be there for you. So I thought that was really sweet of Johnny. And then we go to the pods and we see Alejandra and AD, and they're talking about Clay and Matthew, and um, basically she's talking about the fact that Matthew AD is talking about the fact that Matthew has basically told Amber pretty much verbatim, or semantics, but pretty much the same things that he has told her. And then she kind of touches on how Clay is bad for her as well, but she's like a fix a hole or something like that. I'm like, sis, we don't want that for you. No, you cannot fix up a man, okay? Like, you better listen to K Michelle. You cannot raise a man, sweetie. Period. Okay. So AD, I need you to stop. I need you to just move away from that. Stop trying to get the bad boys and fix them up. That is a no, sis. Um. So then, moving on, we see AD and Matthew, and she basically confronts him. She confronts Matthew about, what he said to Amber. And of course, he gives her the whole, oh no, it wasn't like that. I didn't say that to her. Like what I said to you was deeper than what I said to her. Like when I come in here, I'm super excited to see you, to know, well, not see you, but to know that I'm going to be speaking with you. And like the other day, like I wanted to call my mom and tell my mom about you. I'm thinking about, nobody care nothing about that. You still told this woman the same things that you told me, and you said that you weren't telling anybody else that. So you lied, baby. You lied. But he tried to weasel his little way out of it. I don't think AD was buying it, but she wasn't going hard enough for me. I'm like, no, sis, cut him off right now. Period. You could tell that AD, yeah, you could tell that AD, like, I think she really likes Matthew. And it's kind of strange because Matthew gives. I was watching another reviewer's video earlier, and she said American Psycho. I don't even know what American Psycho is. I think it's a movie. I don't even know if it's a movie or a show, but I know the word, the phrase, or the title rather, but I've never seen it. So I was like, oh, I mean, the title, it sounds befitting for Matthew, but there is something I cannot put my finger on about Matthew that I do not like, other than the obvious, but it's giving very performative. We'll get there because of course he does more, right? So, um, let's see. Then we see after AD leaves the the pods with Matthew, she ends up going back to the women's quarters, and now her and Amber, well, actually, she's talking to Alejandra again. And can I just say this? Netflix, can we see a date with Alejandra, please? She's more than AD's bestie in the living quarters. We would like to see a date with Alejandra. I'm waiting. Hopefully, we see one. I've only watched 2 episodes, so fingers are crossed. But anyway, so she's talking to Alejandra, and I think Amber is standing right there. And then she said something about um leaving. She said something about leaving. She told Clay that there was a man that told her about leaving, and she said it in a way where she wasn't really trying to say too much, but Amber picked up on it. Amber was like, whoa, 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 don't do that. Leave how? Like, leave with him? And AD was like, yes. And she said, today? And AD was like, tomorrow. And Amber was like, I know you lied. I know this big head MF did not just basically tell you the same thing that he told me. Baby, Amber was big mad. Not really big mad, but she was just like, this is some BS. And she was like, it's time to bow. Like, I'm done. And she really was like, sis was gone. She was on her Aaliyah-ish. Hey, Aaliyah from season 5 last year. Hey, girl. So now we finally get to see a date with Kenneth and Brittany. And Kenneth is a principal, and Brittany is I think she was a teacher. And she's like, when she walks in the door, she's all excited. She's like, yes, yes. She's so excited to see him. I'm like, okay, well, dang. I wish they would have shown us some of y'all other dates so we would know why you're so excited to see him. Because this is the first time that we like really got to see him. And he was saying, he liked the fact that, she was a teacher or is a teacher, and how much she loved God. He loved that about her. And then they started to talk about their parents. And I want to say Kenneth's mother died from cancer. And then her father died. Let's see. I think her father died when she was 5 years old. And the crazy part about it was they asked, I can't remember who asked who. I think she asked him if he wanted to have children, and he said at least 2. And she said, okay, well, would you be okay if they were twins? And he was like, oh, my mother was a twin. And or is it his mother? I think it was his mother. His mother is a twin. And then she was like, oh my God, my mom was a twin. And her sister got like in this really bad car accident. And on her was it on her birthday? I can't remember if it was on her birthday or, yeah. Let's see, Mom. Yeah, I think she passed on the birthday or something like that. Whatever it was like, wow. I was like shocked at the fact that they both have parents that are twins. There's like a lot of coincidences with the couples this season. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And so next we see Johnny and Amy, and they're having a sushi date. And Johnny is saying, he's just talking about, like how everything has been going so well, and he's just talking super fast, and he's like, and I just love such and such about you. And she was like, love, and he was like, wait, I mean light. And she caught that. She was like, what you said? And he was like, I mean, I guess I do. Like, I love you or whatever. It was really cute. And so then she says it back to him, and I'm just like, oh, like they're like the least problematic couple so far. I still feel like with the least problematic couples, there's always something whether it's attraction or something. I can just feel it. I feel it brewing. Netflix will never let us down. It's coming. So, um, yeah. So that was really cool to see. At least we don't have a triangle there with them. And Chelsea and Jimmy, we get into their date, and she asks Jimmy to describe his perfect date. Because remember, the last time we saw Chelsea and Jimmy, she was leaving out of the room crying, upset. So at the very beginning of their date, she was like, they both were like apologetic. She was like, I was overreacting, and he was like, no, I was just trying to take everything in. It's all good. Like, I still like you, and they were just both really I cannot talk. Apologetic. And just wanted to, continue to put forth an effort to getting to know each other and move forward. And so she asked him to describe like the best date or like the perfect date. And he was like, we're going to be on this island and we're going to be going out by the water and getting some good food and drink and some fish and music and all this good stuff. And he was like, and go home and smush. I was like, smush? Smash? What is smush? His man said smush. I was like, what? It was so funny. And so then she asked him if he has ever been told that he looks like a celebrity. And I don't know if he answered the question or he said no. But she was like, well, sometimes people tell me that I look like somebody, but in my opinion, it's just the hair and the eyes. And he was like, who, tell me who is it? And she was like, she couldn't even think of who it is. And I'm like, girl, you don't know who your celebrity lookalike is? So she's like, I think it's MGK or MJK. I don't even know the order it goes in. Is it MGK? I think it's MGK. She's like, I think it's MGK. I don't know if it's like his wife or his girlfriend. And so now he's like, are you talking about Megan Fox? I'm like, she was like, but only the eyes and the hair, only the eyes. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, if I like did a quick glance like that, I could, I guess I could possibly see it a little bit. But I do feel like Jessica looks more like a Megan Fox opposed to Chelsea. But she's still a pretty girl. Both of them pretty girls. And so he was like, "Ooh, yes." He's so excited. I'm like, I cannot wait to see who he proposes, who he picks, because I really like him with Jessica, and I really like Chelsea with Trevor. So that would be interesting if that's who they pick. And then when they see each other, because we all know once they get to was it Mexico? Once they get to Mexico, all hell breaks loose. But I digress. So now we have Jessica and Jimmy, and she's upset. Not really upset, but she's a little sad because she misses her daughter, and she's crying, and she's telling him that she just misses talking to her daughter, and she wants him to know that it's not that I don't want to talk to you, or I'm sad that I'm here with you. I just miss her so much. And then she just starts telling him how wonderful of a child she is. And he's asking her like questions. He's getting more involved. Because remember the last time that they were speaking about Autumn, he was just trying to process everything. So he said that it was okay with him, but his body language was definitely given, oh, shit. I don't know if I want to sign up for this or not. So now he's like, I think he's had time to digest it, process it. And so he's just like more open to it, asking questions, you know. He's laughing, smiling, talking with her about it. And she asked him how many siblings he has, and he said he had 5. I'm like, dang, you know, a lot of kids. Your parents had a lot of kids, and so he said that his oldest sibling was from a previous marriage, and both of his parents were married prior. And he goes into the whole breakdown of that. And Jessica, just when you thought things was heavy, they get heavier. Jessica was like, listen, I totally understand the whole family dynamics, the ins and the outs, because actually he said that his stepmother adopted his older sister, and that's what brought up Jessica's story about her parents, which it was whew. So she said her 2 biological parents were married. They gave birth to her. They had heavy addictions. Her father went to prison shortly after she was born, and her mother ended spiraling. I cannot talk. So she at 4, yeah, at 4, her mother ended up spiraling, and she had to go to foster care. And so she said her father was released from prison. Then she lived with her dad for a little bit. Then he ended up himself. She didn't say exactly how. I'm just like, wow. And she went back to foster care. But at 10, this lovely family adopted her, and they were just like amazing to her. And she said that, she was super, super happy about it because I want to say she got pregnant at 16 or 17, one of those. And she said that she was glad that she was adopted because had she not been, then she wouldn't have custody of Autumn. So I was like, first of all, that's amazing. Kudos to those parents. They're awesome. Adoptive parents are amazing. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, kudos to her parents. Oh, I was gonna say she just really does not look like what she's been through. Like, I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed. Like, wow. So, I really like Jessica. I do. I really like Jessica, and I like Jimmy. I like them together. Like I said, I hope that he proposes to her and picks her. But I really, really like Jessica. She's really pretty and really, really sweet. And then he asked her, about having more kids. And she was like, of course, like, you can't tell I love to be a mom. And he's like, yeah, because not trying to put too much pressure on you or anything, but me and my parents would like to have kids. I'm like, your parents, but it all made sense after he went into this whole spiel about his his mother adopting his sister. So I was like, okay, I get it, cool. But I really like Jessica. Moving on swiftly and professionally. Chelsea and Trevor, like I said, I love them. We get to see them together again. And um they have so much in common, right? Remember the dog names? And so she, for some reason, is like trying to figure out what he looks like over there. She was like, I'm just trying to picture you. Like, I don't know, maybe you have long hair, maybe it's short, or you know what? It would be so cute if you had a mullet. And he's like, are you serious? She's like, oh my God, I know it's so weird. I know it is so weird, but I just am a sucker for a mullet. And he's like, I thought you couldn't see over there. Can you see over there? And she's like, what? Are you playing with me? Don't be playing with me. Don't tell me that you got a mullet and you don't have no mullet. He's like, I have a mullet. And I'm like, oh my God, they're too cute. So I really, really, really hope that these two get engaged. Fingers across. And so now it's time. Amy and Johnny are in the pods, and he proposes. He tells her, he does his little speech, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not gonna be perfect. And if I mess up and I do this, that, I need you to tell me. She's like, oh, I'm me. I'm Puerto Rican, baby. I'm gonna tell you. Period. And he proposes, and of course she accepts, and then she runs back into the women's quarters, and she's all excited. Everybody's all excited for her. So we get to see their reveal at the very end of the this episode. They're preparing for the reveal, but we don't get to see it until next episode. And so, Matthew, they save the worst for last, not the best. So, Alejandra and AD, they stay in it. They stay chit chatting. They stay chit chat in, and she just basically like, listen, these two MFers got me effed all the way up. Like, I'm not about to do this. Like, for real. Clay, I like Clay, but he's with the BS. And then Matthew, he is really with the BS. You know what? Actually, I forgot to mention earlier when AD had her, when she had her date with Clay, she was telling Clay about her date with Matthew, and sis was just like, she was in there talking, like it's us talking right now. She was like, yeah, I'm just like so caught off guard. And Matthew, I had a connection with him. She didn't say his name. She's like, I had a connection with someone, and I come to find out that he has a connection with somebody else. And he was basically, everything that he was saying to me, he was saying to her as well. And it like kind of, caught me off guard. And Clay is like, hold up, whoa, stop, wait. Are you into me or are you not into me? Because what you just told me has absolutely nothing to do with me. And this man is like, he's pacing the pod as this is going on. And she's like, I think she was like caught off guard because he didn't scream, but he definitely raised his voice. But I was like, I had already gave you 2-3 strikes. You trying to strike out Clay? And she was like, I'm just, letting you know. He was like, you know what? Let's just have a transparency conversation right now. Tell me, who am I in? What is it called? I'm talking about a three-way, a triangle. I can't even think of what it's called right now. Lord, my mind. And she was like, a love triangle. She was like, it's me, you, and Matthew. And he said, Matthew, like, who? I don't know nobody. And he started thinking, like, oh my God. When I tell you I was dying, oh my God, I was dying. I was dying. I literally had to make a TikTok because that was so funny. He was like, who? Wait. Because he's like, baby, you got me in a love triangle with that guy? Like, not trying to say he not on my level or nothing, but he ain't on my level. That's what it was given. Like, he ain't on my level. Like, seriously, this man is a square, pretty much. So anyway, boom, fast forward. So she goes in to see, oh, actually, before she goes in to see Matthew, He's walking in, he's getting ready to walk out to go into the pods out of the men's quarters. And Jamal, who split his pants 3-4 days ago, he was like, "Hey dude, you left your book." Matthew turns around. He didn't really snatch it, but he grabbed the book, doesn't say thank you, and just walks out. And Jamal's like, "You're welcome." Rude. Something is wrong with this man. I cannot wait to see this man. Something is wrong with this man. I don't know what it is. So he walks out. He goes into the pods. Well, 80's already in there. She walks in. She's like, "Hello, hello, hello." At first, I didn't think he was coming. And so he comes in and, he's all talking like low and sad and he's sniffing. And she's like, I'm like, here we go with these fake tears. And she's trying to figure out, what's going on because you got me effed all the way up. And so he says, America loves a good underdog story. And I'm thinking, what? And she says, listen, put all those cameras and lights and all that stuff aside. Like, I'm not here for all that. I'm here for the experiment because I know that it works because I have seen it work more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, right? I know this thing works. And so he kind of knows. He's like, he knows that she's checked out at this point. And so he's just like, he's trying to bow out like Amber. He's just like, I know you wanted to, have this proposal and it would mean everything to you and yada, yada, yada. And you don't want to get to the end and don't get that or whatever. And I don't think it'd be fair for me. And I'm thinking, I'm really trying to figure it out. It's given you really wanted Amber. I don't know. Because at first it seemed like he was really into AD. Because we didn't really see any dates with him and Amber like that. I think we only saw like one. So I'm like, what's going on, Matthew? It's definitely given performative. And so he's like, America, I got America on my side. I'm like, who? Talking about the y'all. Who is y'all? Who? You got me over here sounding like a whole hour. Ain't nobody on your side. We on AD side, baby. We like AD. We love AD. You can get the F out of here. So anyway, she's just like, whatever. She's over it at this point. And so when she gets ready to walk out the door, she says, "Are you sad?" Because she asked him, she's like, "Do I hear you like sniffling over there?" And he was like, I'm sad because she said, you sound devastated," is what she said. "You sound devastated. Is it because Amber's gone?" And he was like, "Yeah, I broke somebody's heart on national television, like these fake tears." And she was like, "You broke some, just, you know what, just screw it." She wanted to say, "You broke somebody or a couple people." You're saying like just one person. Sir, I have feelings too. Me. You forgot about me? Matthew, Lord have mercy. So then we see Matthew storm back into the men's court and he's like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to get Amber." I'm like, it's given I'm trying to have a Zach moment, but sir, no. No. You can never be Zach. Period. Okay. Kudos to Zach and Bliss on their baby. Well, their pregnancy. But anyway, yeah, I'm like, I cannot wait for episode 3. So that was pretty much the episode. Aside from Amy and Johnny. Amy and Johnny sitting in a tree. They're getting ready to have the big reveal. So I cannot wait for that. And that will be in episode 3. So that was the episode, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.